data from controller to UI. To send data from controller to UI, we are using model object. We are using model object. Model will represent the data. Model will represent data in the form of key value pair. To send data from controller to UI, we are using model object. Model will represent data in the form of key value pair. And I have given one assignment also to display list of users. Are you guys able to implement that? Are you guys able to implement? Now, I have explained how to send one user object data to the UI. I gave the task for you to send multiple users data. Are you guys able to do that? Are you guys able to do that? How to display multiple users data in the UI? Just you need to send one collection and you need to iterate the collection in the JSP using core tag library. That's good. I hope you are able to do that with the help of JSTL. By using JSTL tag library, you can iterate the collection. You can iterate that collection. That's fine. Okay, perfect. Next one. So today we are going to talk about how to send the data from UI to controller. So today's topic, sending data from controller to UI is already done. From UI to controller, sending data from UI to controller. We can send the data from UI to controller in below three ways. We can send data from UI to controller in below three ways. Now, if you see our application, any web application is there. Now here, contact us application available. User, core Java you are clicking. So here you are clicking some hyperlinks and you will click on some buttons also. You will click on the hyperlinks and you will click on the buttons also. Okay, we can send data from UI to controller in below three ways. First one is by using query parameters. Second one is by using path parameters. Third one is by using request body. How many ways we can send the data from UI to controller? Controller to UI already we discussed in the previous session. When we are sending the data from controller to UI, we are using model object. Model dot add attribute of key comma value. Key is the string, value is the user object. We are sending the data to the UI. Now today's topic is how to send the data from UI to controller. To send the data from UI to controller, we have three ways. First one is query parameter. Second one is path parameter. Third one is request body. Okay. Now, query parameters will represent the query parameters and path parameters will represent the data in the URL directly. Query parameters and path parameters. First we'll talk about query parameters. Query parameters will represent the data in the URL directly. Query parameters will represent data in the form of key value pair. Okay, for example, www.ashokitech.com/courses ? Name is equal to SBMS. Now you see here, now in this URL we are sending the data, name is equal to SBMS. This is a query parameter. Query parameters will start with question mark. query parameter will start with question mark and will be separated by and symbol. Will be separated by and symbol. Query parameters always present at the end of the URL. Query parameters always will present at end of the URL. Query parameters always will present at the end of the URL. To read the query parameters in the controller, we will use request param annotation. To read query parameters from URL, we will use @request param annotation. What is that, guys? @request param annotation. First of all, how to send the data from UI to controller? We can send the data from UI to controller in three ways. One is by using query parameter, second one is by using path parameters, third one is by using request body. What is the meaning of a query parameters? Query parameters will represent data in the form of key value pair like this. Question mark name is equal to SBMS. Query parameters will start with question mark and will be separated by and symbol. You can send multiple query parameters also. And trainer is equal to courses name is equal to SBMS. Trainer is equal to Osho. See here, this is one query parameter and this is another query parameter. They are representing the data in the form of key and value. Query parameters will start with question mark and they will be separated by and symbol. Query parameters will present only at the end of the URL. How to read the data from the query parameters? In our controller, we will use request param annotation to read the data from query parameter. In our controller, to read query parameters from URL, we will use request param annotation. Are you guys getting my point? To read the data from the query parameters, we are going to use request param annotation. To read the data from query parameters, we are going to use request param annotation. Good. Fine. Let me develop one example. Let me develop one example. File, new, Spring Starter project. Let me create 18th application, Spring Web MVC, Query Param app. Click on next. Web dependency, DevTools dependency I'm taking. Next and finish. Along with this, we need to add Tomcat embed Jasper. We are using JSP file as a presentation file. So we need to add Tomcat embed Jasper as a dependency. We need to add Tomcat embed Jasper as a dependency because we need to compile our JSP files. Good. Now go to this 18th application, add that embed Jasper in the form.xml. Okay, go to this, go to the form.xml. Web starter is there. Embed Jasper I have added. Now let us create one REST controller to demonstrate this. Let us create one REST controller, new class. Welcome REST controller. We are going to keep that inside the REST package. Sorry, welcome controller, not REST. Welcome controller. I'm going to keep that inside controller package. Click on finish. Now I'm going to write one method inside this public string welcome message. I need string name. Public string welcome message string name I'm going to write. Now string message text is equal to name welcome to Spring Web MVC. Welcome to Spring Web MVC. That is the message. Whatever the name that we are getting, we are going to take that name and we need to send the data. For that we are taking model object as a parameter. Okay. Then I'm going to do model dot add attribute key comma value. Model dot add attribute. Why? Because I'm receiving the data from the UI and I'm sending the data to the UI. I want to take the data from the UI and I want to send the data to the UI. Model dot add attribute of key comma value. What is that value? Message text is the value. Okay. Then finally I'm going to return index page. This method I will bind to get request get mapping /welcome. This class I will represent as a REST controller by using @REST controller annotation. Okay. Now who is going to call the controller method? Guys? Programmer will call the controller method or IOC container will call that controller method. IOC container will call the controller method. How many parameters are available for a controller method now? Parameters for the method. See the line number 11. 2 parameters are available. One parameter is the name. Second parameter is the model. Okay. This name I want to take from the query parameter. How can we do that? Request param of name key comma value. Request param annotation I am using. What is the purpose of request param annotation? Request param annotation is used to read the data from the query parameters. To read query parameters from the URL, we will use request param annotation. Okay, can you guys look at this controller method? Are you able to understand what I am doing here? I am expecting name of the person as a query parameter in the URL. When the person send a request like this, name is equal to this, I will capture this name associated value, key value based on this is the key. Based on the key, I will capture the value. I will display in the message. Now, create presentation file, src main. Inside this, I am going to create a folder with a name called views. Inside this views, I will create a file with a name called index.jsp. Because my controller method is returning index, so the file name is going to be index.jsp. Let's access the value by using key with the help of expression language. $of message, it is the expression language. This message is the key. It is going to capture the value which is associated with the key. It is going to print the value which is associated with that key. Okay, now go to properties file, configure the port number. Server.port is equal to 9090. Spring.mvc.view.prefix is equal to /views. Spring.mvc.view.suffix is equal to .jsp. I'm configuring port number and view resolver. Sir, I should not give REST controller, I should give as a control. REST controller will discuss in the REST API. That is our module 3. Okay, currently we are talking about controllers. We don't know what is REST controller. We are talking about controller. By mistake I have written the REST controller. Currently we are not talking about the REST controllers, we are talking about only controller. Controller method is expecting name as a request parameter. Request parameter means it will be there at the end of the URL, it will start with a question mark, it will represent in the form of key value. Chalo, let's start this application. 18th application, right click, run as boot app. Right click, run as boot app. Run as boot application. If application started, then we can access the URL by giving query parameter in the URL. Okay, localhost colon 9090 / welcome name is equal to Charles. Now, are you able to get the message Charles, welcome to Spring Web MVC? If I give the name as a John, are you getting the message John, welcome to Spring Web MVC? If I give the name as Ashok, now I'm sending the request Ashok, welcome to Spring Web MVC. That means, are we able to capture request parameter in the controller? Are we able to capture request parameter in the controller? Yes. How to capture the request parameter in the controller? Request parameter is nothing but query parameter. If you want to send any data to the server, then you can go for request parameter. Request parameter is nothing but query parameter. Query parameters will represent data in the form of key and value. Query parameters will represent the data in the form of key and value. Query parameters will start with question mark. You can send multiple query parameters in the URL. They will be separated by and symbol. Query parameters always will present at end of the URL. If user is sending a query parameter in the URL, then how to read that query parameter? To read the query parameter, we are using request param annotation. To read that query parameter, we are using what? We are using request param annotation. Are you guys clear with this? Can you read this? What is query parameter and how we are using that query parameter? All of you, can you please read it? Guys, all of you, can you please read it? What is query parameter? Okay. Now, if we want to take another query parameter, then we will take another parameter for the method. That's it. Key name you will take. Here we have one thing. we can take another query parameter. Then you need to take another method for the another parameter for the method. Okay, sir, can I take 3 query parameters? Yes, in the URL you can send multiple query parameters by using AND operator. Here you need to take them as a method parameter. This is first parameter, comma, second parameter, comma, third parameter. You can take multiple query parameters also in the URL. You can read them by using request param annotations. So if client is sending the data in the URL as a key value pair, then you can read that query parameter by using request param annotation. So query parameters will represent data in the form of key value pair. Query parameters will start with question mark, will be separated by AND symbol. Query parameters always will present at end of the URL. To read the query parameters from URL, we will use request param annotation. Don't worry guys, here just I am introducing the concept. The actual purpose of the query parameters I will tell you in the RESTful services. Same topic we are going to discuss in the RESTful services also. Okay. Now, let's talk about path parameters. Path parameters are also called as path variables, are also called as URI parameters. There are multiple names are available. Path parameters or path variables are URI parameters. Already we discussed about query parameters. Query parameters are used to send the data to the server. Path parameters are also used to send the data to the server. Path parameters are also used to send data to server in URL. Path parameters are also used to send data to server in URL. Path parameters will represent the data directly without keys. Path parameters will represent data directly in URL. Directly in URL. No keys. No key. No key. Path parameters can present anywhere in the URL. Path parameters can present anywhere in the URL. Query parameters should present only at the end of the URL. Na? Path parameter can present anywhere in the URL. ashokaitech.com/course java/online. Okay. Here course, name of the course, I can represent this as a curly brace. This is called as path parameter. So generally Java. Now if I write which one is the URL and which one is the path parameter, you will get confused. Course Java. So www.ashokaitech.com course Java. This Java is a path parameter. That Java is a path parameter. To read path parameters from the URL, to read path parameters from URL, we will use path variable annotation. To read the query parameters, we are using which annotation? To read the query parameters, we are using request param annotation. To read the path parameters, we are going to use path variable annotation. We are going to use path variable annotation. Good. Now, I need to take one more project, guys. That is path param application. I'm just copy pasting. Same application, just a small change. Path param application. Okay. Now here we should not go for request param. The remaining things are same. Now look at this. There is a small difference. There is a small difference. Whenever we are going for query parameter will present only at the end of the URL. They will start with the question mark. and they will represent the data in the form of key value. So to read that query parameters, we are using request param annotation. It's a straightforward. Key is there. Based on the key name, we can read the value. Request param of key. Based on the key, value will come. But in the path parameters, do we have the key or we don't have the keys in the path parameter? Do we have the keys in the path parameter or we don't have keys in the path parameter?
We don't have.
We don't have any keys in the path parameter. So that's why whenever we are working with path parameters, we need to represent that as a template where that path parameter is coming in the URL. Okay, query parameters means always will present at the end only. Path parameter can be present anywhere in the URL. So whenever you are representing a URL pattern for the path parameter, you need to specify in which position that path parameter will come in the URL. Now what I am telling, welcome. After welcome, whatever is coming in the URL, that is belongs to name variable. So whenever you are working with the path parameter, you need to represent the path parameter position in the URL. So how to represent it? By using path variable. Whatever the path variable name is there, that should come and store into this name variable. So whatever is coming in the URL after the welcome, I have given a variable name. If that variable name is matching with this variable name, then that value will store into this variable. Okay. So if I don't give this, then it cannot understand that there is a path parameter. URL mapping is very important when you go for path parameters. But in the query parameters, that is not required. Why? Query parameters are working with the keys. Based on the key name, they will identify the value. When it comes to path parameters will work based on the index, position, in which location that path parameter will be available in the URL. So that is the reason, if you want to represent a path parameter in the URL, you have to specify the template for that. You have to specify the template for that. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? Good. Let's run this application. Same, nothing is changed. The only thing is, in the previous example, we have query parameter. Query parameter we are reading by using request param. In this example, we are having path parameter. To read the path parameter, we are using path variable annotation. Whenever we are using path variable, we need to specify where that path parameter will come in the URL. What is the position of the path parameter in the URL? That we need to represent in the URL itself. Okay. Run this application. Run as boot app. Run as boot app. Okay. Application started. Earlier we have given welcome / name is equal to Ashok. Now this time localhost colon 9090 / welcome / Ashok. Directly after welcome I am giving the name welcome to Spring Boot or welcome to Spring Web MVC. Instead of Ashok, if I give as Ramu welcome to Spring Web MVC. So if I am passing Ramu in the URL directly, are we able to read that in the controller or not? Are we able to read that in the controller or not by using path variable? By using path variable, we are able to read it. We are able to read it. Got my point, guys? How to work with the path parameter? How to work with the query parameters? If you want to send any small piece of information to the controller in the URL, then you can go for query parameters or path parameters. Query parameters will represent the data in the URL as a key value. Path parameter will represent the data in the URL directly. Got it? Now you may get a question. When to go for query parameter, when to go for path parameter. That we are going to discuss in the REST API. For here, just for time being, understand what is query parameter, what is path parameter. That's it. I'm going to give you the perfect use case when to go for query parameter, when to go for path parameter in the RESTful services. I will give the perfect use case when to go for query parameter, when to go for path parameter in the RESTful services. But do you understand concept of query parameter and path parameter? Do you understand concept of query parameter and path parameter? Can you see any problem with the query parameters and path parameters? Guys, can you see any problem with the query parameters and path parameters? Yes. Both query parameters, both query params and path params data is visible in URL. It is not recommended to send the data. It is not recommended to send sensitive data in the URL. It is not recommended to send sensitive data in URL like password, pin, password, pin, OTP, etc. It is not recommended to send sensitive data in the URL like password, pin code, OTP, etc. That data is a sensitive data. We should not send such a kind of sensitive data in the URL. But what is the problem? Both the query params and path params data is visible in URL. It is not recommended to send sensitive data in the URL. Right. Query parameters and path parameters supports only text data. Query params and path params supports only text data. Can I send one image as a query parameter? Can I send one image as a query parameter? Can I send one file as a path parameter? No support for binary data. Query parameters and path parameters supports only text data. There is no support for binary data. Both query params and path params data is visible in the URL. It is not recommended to send sensitive data in the URL like passwords, pin codes, OTPs. Such kind of data is called sensitive data. It is not recommended to send sensitive data. Query params and path params supports only text data, not support for binary data. If we want to send any sensitive data, then it is recommended to send using request body. So total how many ways we can send the data from UI to controller? Total in how many ways we can send the data from UI to controller, guys? Total in how many ways we are going to send the data from UI to controller? We are going to send the data from UI to controller in 3 ways. In 3 ways. What are those 3 ways? What are those 3 ways? What are those 3 ways? three ways: query parameters, path parameters, and request body. So now, can you quickly read about query parameters and path parameters? What is the today's topic? Quickly read the points mentioned in the notes. Can you guys quickly read the notes, points? Today's topic is sending data from UI to controller. We can send data from UI to controller in below three ways: query params, path params, request body. Query parameters will represent data in the form of key value pair, like this. Query parameters will start with question mark and will be separated by and symbol. Query parameters always represent at end of the URL, will present only at the end of the URL. To read query parameters from URL, we will use request param annotation. To read query parameters from URL, we will use request param annotation. Got my point? Path parameters, path variables are URI parameters. Path parameters are also used to send data to server in the URL. Query parameters are also used to send the data to server in the URL. Path parameters also used to send the data to the server in the URL. But what is the difference? क्या फर्क है? Query parameters will represent in the form of key value. Query parameters will represent the data in the form of key value. Path parameters will represent the value directly. To read the query parameters, we are going to use request param, like this. To read the path parameters, we are going to use path variable. Path parameters should be represented in the URL pattern. Path parameters should be represented. Path parameters should be represented in URL pattern. Path parameters should be represented in URL pattern. You see, welcome slash welcome is there and a name is there. Welcome is there, name is there. We have to represent that. We have to represent that. Okay. Fine. So now, if we compare both query parameters and path parameters, what is the conclusion? Both query parameters and path parameters, the data is visible in the URL. Both query parameters and path parameters data is visible in the URL. It is not recommended to send sensitive data in the URL, because if you go for query parameters or path parameters, data is displaying in the URL. Path parameters data displaying in the URL. Query parameters data also displaying in the URL. Is it recommended to display the data in the URL, or it is not recommended to display the data in the URL? Is it recommended to display the data in the URL, or it is not recommended to display the data in the URL? Is it recommended to display the data in the URL, or it is not recommended to display the data in the URL? It is not at all recommended to display the data in the URL. Okay, so we should not send the sensitive data by using query parameters and path parameters. And query parameters, path parameters supports only text data. If we want to send any sensitive data, then it is recommended to go for request body. Can you see here? Go to our website. Go to our website, Ashok IT website. Go to contact us. You fill up your data, Ashok IT school, some mobile number. Hello. Now click on send message. Observe clearly what is the URL. ashokitech.com contact us is the URL. Click on send message. Thank you for contacting. Your data submitted to the server. Is it displaying anywhere in the URL? Is your data displaying anywhere in the URL? Secretly your data sent to the server. Is your data sent to the server or not? Your data sent to the server secretly. Is it displaying anywhere in the URL? No, nothing but this form data sent to server in request body. This form data sent to server in the request body. Are you guys getting my point? This form data sent to the server in the request body. Okay, now we need to develop the form and we need to understand how the data is going to the server in the request body. We need to develop the form and we need to understand how the data is going to server in the request body. Are you guys clear with this? Are you guys clear with this? You understand what is query parameter, what is path parameter, what is request body? If you want to send any simple information to server like one employee ID, one book ID, one customer ID, the data is not secret. The data is public data. There is nothing security for that. There is nothing sensitive for that. Such kind of small amount of data you can send in the URL by using a query parameter or by using a path parameter. Suppose I want to send one credit card number. I want to send one PIN code. I want to send my password. Do you suggest query parameter and path parameter for that? Or you suggest request body? I want to send some sensitive data. Secret information I want to send. Request body. Request body is used to send the data to the server. Request body is used to send the data to server. Now you see, we are submitting the form. We are submitting the form. That form data we are sending to the server in the request body, it will not display anywhere. That data will not be displayed anywhere, but the data will go to the server. The data will not display anywhere, but the data will go to the server. The data will not display anywhere, but the data will go to the server. Are you getting my point? Are you guys getting my point? The data is not displaying anywhere, but it is going to the server. That is called request body. The data is going to the server in the request body. The data is going to the server in the request body. Now we should also develop a form. We should also develop a form and send a request to the server with the data in the request body. So our next topic is form based applications. What is our next topic, guys? Form based applications. Form based applications. Spring WebMVC module provided tag library to develop the forms easily. Spring WebMVC module provided form tag library to develop forms easily. Spring WebMVC module provided form tag library to develop forms easily. Okay, now you see that guys, in the net you can find n number of examples. Spring MVC form tag library. Spring MVC form tag library. Spring MVC Spring Form JSP tag library. Okay, can you see this? Can you read this? Spring Form JSP tag library. One of the Vue technologies you can use with the Spring framework is JSP, Java Server Pages. To help you implement views using Java Server Pages, the Spring framework provides you with some tags for evaluating errors, setting themes, and outputting internationalized messages. Okay, button tag, checkbox, checkboxes, errors, form, hidden, input, label, option, options, password, radio buttons, select, text area. Okay, so it provided so many tags for us. It provided so many tags for us. Button tag, checkbox tag, error tag, form tag, hidden tag, input tag, label tag, option tag, options, password, radio buttons, select, text area. Like that, we have so many tags in the MVC tag library. By using these tags, we can develop the form easily. By using the tags, we can develop the form easily. Spring MVC module provided form tag library to develop forms easily. Spring MVC form tag library. Spring MVC form tag library supports for form binding. Supports for form binding. Form binding means binding the form data to the object and object data to the form. Form binding means binding form data to object and object data to form. That is called as form binding. Object and form fields. Form fields data will be stored to the object. Object data will be represented by form fields. That is called as form binding. Spring MVC form tag library supports for form binding. Form binding means binding form data to object and object data to form. Are you guys able to follow this? What is a form-based application? Spring Web MVC module provided form tag library to develop the forms easily. Spring Web MVC module provided form tag library to develop the forms easily. Spring MVC form tag library supports for form binding. Form binding. Form binding means binding form data to the object and object data to the form. Binding form data to the object and object data to the form. Okay. So if we develop one single form, then we will understand how the form binding is happening. Can we develop one form now with the binding technique? Can we develop one form now? Simple form. Can we develop one simple login form now? Can we develop one simple login form now? Okay, cool. Let's try this. File, new Spring Starter project 20th Spring Boot WebMVC login form app. Spring Boot WebMVC login form app. Next, web dependency DevTools. I'm using Lombok also. I hope all of you know Lombok. You don't know Lombok or you know Lombok? You don't know, huh? Then remove it. If you don't know, remove it. I have taken web dependency and DevTools. You know the purpose of these two dependencies, right? DevTools is used to restart the server. Web dependency will provide the support for developing web applications, and it will provide Tomcat server as the default container to run our application. Click on next, click on finish. Let's add Tomcat embed Jasper. Add one dependency which is called Tomcat embed Jasper. What is the purpose of Tomcat embed Jasper? To compile our JSP files. Tomcat embed Jasper I'm going to use to compile our JSP files. Tomcat embed Jasper I'm using to compile our JSP files. Okay, cool. Yeah, now for presentation files, I'm going to create one folder with a name called pages. I'm going to create one folder with a name called pages. Right. Now, let me create one controller. Let me create one controller class. New class, that is login controller. Login controller. In dot ashokit dot controller. Finish it. Login controller. How to represent one class as a controller? By using controller annotation. Controller annotation. Now here how to develop the login form. Email password field will be available. Email field will be available and password field will be available. Along with this, there will be a one button called login button. There will be one button called login button. There will be one button called login button. Got it. Now, in order to represent this class, in order to represent this, I'm going to take one class with a name called login form. I'm going to take one class with a name called login form. Here, string email field and string password field will be available. String email and string password field will be available. Here I'm going to write setters and getters. Here I'm going to write setters and getters. Okay. What does it mean is, I want to bind this email field to email variable and this password field to password variable. This is called as form binding. The form field will be binded to Java class variable, that is called form binding. That means the form data will be stored to this object. This class object data will be stored to the form. Such kind of binding class I am going to create. So let me create one Java class as a form binding class. New class with a name called login form. In dot ashokit dot bindings. In dot ashokit dot bindings. Login form. How many fields are there in the login form? 2 fields are there. So to bind that form data, we need 2 variables. Private string email, then private string password. Okay. Why I am taking 2 variables in the class? The form is having 2 fields. For example, if you go to contact us, there are 4 fields are available. Then I will take 4 variables in the class. I want to bind form data to object. So the number of form fields should be equal to the number of variables available in the binding class. So in my form, two fields are available. So in my binding class, two variables are available. What is the meaning of that? This field data will be stored to the variable. Email field data will be stored to email variable. Password field data will be stored to password variable. Form binding, binding the form data to Java class. Now, for these two variables, I'm going to write setters and getters. For these two variables, I'm going to write setters and getters. And I'm going to write toString method also. I'm going to write toString method also. Two variables, setters, getters, and a toString method. Okay, now go to login controller. First, I'm writing one method, public string login page. Public string login page. Now here I'm going to take modal return login return login page, or we can make it as an index page also. Index page also. Make this method as a get mapping method @get mapping / login. Now here I'm going to create one empty object, login form, binding object. Login form is equal to new login form. I'm creating one empty object, modal dot add attribute key login form. This is login form object. Key is the login form, value is the login form object, and I'm returning index. This method is used to display empty form. That is the reason I am setting empty object. Are you guys able to follow me? Now, why I am setting empty object? I want to display login form empty, or I want to display login form with data. Generally, when you go for login form will display with empty fields. Login form will display with the data, will display empty. That is the reason in the login form I'm setting empty object. That means my object doesn't have data, fields will be empty. Okay. Now create index page. Observe carefully guys how I am creating index now. Other JSP file index, there is nothing but our login page. I want to develop a login page by using Spring MVC tag library. Okay, so first of all I need to add Spring MVC taglib directive, control double space, taglib directive, Spring tags, prefix is going to be form. See this, how I am adding the form taglib. Currently this is my JSP. There is nothing related to Spring form tag library. Hold the control button, press the space bar for 2 times. You can see taglib directive. Select Spring framework tags / form. Prefix is going to be form. That means all the Spring form tag library tags you can access with prefix form. Okay. Form :form, which is used to display the form. Form action, what you want to do when the form is submitted. Modal attribute is equal to login form. Okay, this form is binded to which object? This form is binded to this object. You can access this object by using this key. So that's why in the index.jsp modal attribute I'm giving as login form. Now let's go for a table to display the form properly.